So, viewers, fans, subscribers, and soul reapers and fans of the Bleach IP, all the same out there, I want to introduce you guys to the next episode of the Space Bridge here, the podcast series for the Iacon battle circuit, respectively PlayStation, sometimes PC. So, continuing my deep dive into the Bleach Rebirth of Souls IP and its community here in Rebirth of Souls community. I continue my deep dive delving into a lot of the norms and nuances and set customs and traditions that have been here for the Bleach Rebirth of Souls community, right? And since coming here, I've been in a couple of different servers so far that do generalize the progression and ecosystem structure for the game and for its community. In my next chapter here, join with me is going to be representatives from ouch, my ear. Welcome in with new follower. Yes, joining me is going to be Val Okay of Clan Ohio, and also joining with us is going to be the founder of the Stormation server that I'm in right now, that I've been doing a lot of my thesis and creating for. I also want to introduce you guys to StormationX himself.
Yo, what's up, guys? What's up?
Yo.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, appreciate you setting this up. You know, I've been wanting to do a podcast about Bleach for the longest.
Well, now is a very good opportunity
Yeah,
to really go into with the game and everything that's come full circle, especially reaching close to the 1-year anniversary of the game's founding.
It's a year. Yeah. It was a year yesterday, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the 21st, right?
Yeah.
The more you know. Okay.
It's been a long year, but
I swear, yeah, it's been a cool year.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been pretty interesting.
All right, but Reigndropz, Billy, it's a pleasure having you guys in there. Sit tight. We got a pretty good round away here for our segment here. So to start us on in here, going into the social aspect of the game, first question is, what drew you guys to the Bleach Rebirth of Souls initially? Was it the gameplay, or the aesthetics, or the community, or the connection to the Bleach universe, maybe?
You go first, Storm.
Okay. All right, I got you. Well, I would say what initially drew me into the game is the IP, it being Bleach, and the fact that Bleach hadn't had a game for so many years kind of drew me to it just off the strength of that. Initially, I saw the trailers and I was like, wow, this doesn't really seem like my type of game. But my boy kept telling me about it. He's like, yo, check out the character trailers, really give it a look. And over time, it's become one of my favorite arena fighters. Like, it's also a fighting game too, which is what I usually like to play. So it's kind of a nice little mix of, like, it's part of it is IP, and the other half is that I'm usually playing these kind of games anyway. So, yeah.
A win-win.
Yeah, for sure.
So what got me into the game was, Bleach. Bleach is my second favorite anime of all time. And I realized Bleach hasn't had a game in years. So, before, when the game got announced so you could buy it, I bought the Ultimate Edition like day one. All right, I was gonna play the game anyway. Seeing the trailer characters, the trailers for the characters and stuff, and it looked like my type of game. It's kind of opposite with Storm. It kind of seemed like my type of game. Cause I usually I didn't play anime arena fighters like Storm and like Demon Slayer. Like, I didn't think those games. I didn't like those type of games. I was usually like one-on-one, no assist type of dude. So that's what grew me into the game. And my favorite character was in the game also. So
Oh, who's your favorite character?
Kenpachi Zaraki, the fucking GOAT. That's my dog. I love him.
Yeah, ever since I met this dude, he's loved Kenpachi.
Yo, Kenny is my GOAT. I love him.
Respectable choice. Kenny is definitely one of the more iconic choices. Next question. How welcoming do you think the current community is to new players?
Well, that's an interesting question. I think the community overall is very welcoming to new players, but I think a kind of air of slight elitism has kind of hit the community when it comes to like how we feel about people who play ranked in particular. A lot of us used to play the game mode, but Samsoft made some changes that kind of made the game not as honest. So people don't really care as much. At least the community that I'm a part of and help curate. But I think generally we are welcoming, and I think generally like other parts of the community are as well. But yeah, it's some of those changes really have rubbed people the wrong way, and it can come off wrong sometimes too. I think we're kind of more mad with the company than we are with other people, So
Which kind of makes sense. I mean, if it's in the game, it's in the game, so to speak.
Yeah.
Right, go ahead,
What do you think, Val?
My point on that is if you come into like Storm's Discord, it's overall very welcoming. We welcome everybody, especially with the clan stuff that has brought a lot of people into the Discord. Since we're doing like clan wars and stuff like that. But even before the clan stuff happened, it was welcoming either way. But obviously, there is a difference now between like ranked players and tournament players. Like I feel like in any game they're not gonna like correlate with each other. They're not gonna welcome each other. Like tournament players are gonna be, oh, we're better than ranked players, blah 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 blah. But it's overall it's welcoming. You might some people are like more elitist, and that might get annoying. But it's something you have to deal with in the online internet stuff like that, especially in fighting games. So it's something you're not gonna not be used to if you're into this type of community.
Okay. Because I will say, like, in terms of like arena fighter, like the way like the general structure or formula for arena fighters work, I feel like this arena fighters is like the closest to an actual like structured fighter game. It takes a lot of cues
Oh yeah,
from
definitely.
Tekken.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
It's like a baby Tekken. You can pick this game up and then kind of have a smooth transition to Tekken because it's a lot of the same fundamentals. So I think this game does a great job of teaching you fundamentals because all of it is neutral. There's no crazy super long combos. A lot of your interactions put you right back there in neutral against your opponent. So you're forced to have to, go back to the rock paper scissors formation like every other like couple seconds or so. I think it actually makes the game a bit harder to learn too.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like that. I like that there's like a logical learning curve to it where you're learning the game, but you're also learning layers to anime neutral that most other modern day fighting games or in the anime genre don't really try to teach you those.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I agree.
Next question. What kind of player interactions have stood out to you so far? Be they co-ops or matches or groups per se or discords?
Player interactions as in okay. Val, I'll let you do that one. I gotta think on that actually.
Okay. If I'm thinking how the question's asked, it kind of goes back to the other question because let's say like a turn like I don't know how to explain it. Usually, it's kind of the same, but the tournament players and the ranked players, they're gonna butt heads on certain things, especially like a tier list on characters and how the game runs and what should be added or not. Some people think otherwise, some people think differently, and some people like don't get along as well as some people should. But
The butting of heads, so to
usually,
speak.
yeah, butting it. Yeah, some people like to butt heads a lot over it, and fuck.
Let me
I
see what
think
you
it
said.
kind of ties back into like the community question too,
Yeah,
because it's like generally the community is good. So like most people are like, we have like those outliers, right? Because it's still the anime gaming community, right? You have people who are like akin to rage quitting or have no issue with like acting a certain kind of way. It's usually a certain type of person that gravitates to this kind of game. And we've definitely met some people who have been very aggressive at first. Oh, I can beat all you guys, or you guys are trash, and bro, who are you? Like you just came out of nowhere being so negative coming into the community. You know, it's we definitely have those type of bad apples, but for the most part, play interaction is pretty good. I think having clans in this game has really helped it grow because people see it as one is a social thing, but it's also like, oh cool, like this game doesn't give us the proper molds and features that we should have, like spectate or even just even having like community based things like this. Other games like Naruto Storm, for example, even to this day, even if they're not updating the game, there's still an event because it's Sasuke's birthday or something. You get what I'm saying? Like they still do something to like encourage you to get on, maybe collect something. This game that really doesn't have those kind of features. So I think creating such a big community and social, hub outside of the game has helped it
a lot.
grow. Yeah, and also uh people are just generally nice to each other. I think if you need help or if you want to, throw hands with somebody, nobody's disrespectful about it. Everybody's trying to teach each other. So it's a pretty good community.
Yeah, that's a great sum up, basically.
Next question. Oh, let me read what you guys said in chat. I compare the game more to Soul Calibur just because of the weapons. It's a golden question. It's like any real community, real companionship, real disagreements, arguments that turn nasty, yet forgiven over time, some not forgiven, but overall a very realistic and mostly positive community.
Yeah, that's also
I
another
like
great
that
breakdown
take.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's a good breakdown. Next question. Are there noticeable community subcultures or stereotypes forming or that have formed?
Yes, I would say
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that also kind of happened because of the clan thing, because you're
Mm-hmm.
separating. It kind of separated things a bit, but then it kind of did separate things a bit. So, for example, right, each clan has their own separate Discord outside of the Discord that I created. So my Discord has about 500 or so people in there, but each clan kind of has their own thing going on too. So there's like sub mini cultures in between, and only members of those respective clans are generally like in those discords. So it really does feel like you're a part of something bigger. So yeah, for sure.
Interesting. That kind of takes me back to the old Destiny and Transformer years, back when clans were separated like that. So
For real.
I take it this is like the server here is basically like the equivalent of like a mutual point where like all players congregate, and then each clan has their own independent like patch of land, so to speak, or server.
Yeah, basically, yeah, perfect. That's actually perfect.
Okay.
But to add my point, it definitely has. Originally, when the clan stuff was beginning, there was two clans. It was my clan, Ohio, and a clan called Chi Town. And then Chi Town got destroyed with internal conflict. Then some members left my clan, and some members left Chi Town to make their own clan called Reborn. Reborn was mostly EU people, and that goes back to the thing about separation or whatever. Some clans are obviously more into like I don't know how to say it, but Reborn is more EU. That's where like most of the EU people like group up or whatever. and then Ohio, my clan is mostly OG members when Storm first made it, and then it was personally like a big friend group, and then I turned it into a clan and whatever. Then Solo, he's the clan owner of Evolved. He was in Ohio. We did a clan war or whatever. Then he made his own clan with Evolved. That's a whole nother thing. And then whatever was left of Chi-Town was left over. And the people that stayed in Chi-Town, they remade it into La Rota. That clan is owned by Zoe. And then there's a new clan called the Crownless 14th. That clan, they're new players to the game, or some of them are ranked warriors, like we called them, or they people who don't play in tournaments, but they want to get into the scene, so they made a clan, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to get too into it, but, you know, it would take forever to explain everything, but yeah, it basically sums it up.
Okay, so Ohio, Evolved, La Rota, the Crownless 14th, and Reborn.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that sums it up in my notes. Let me read what you guys said over here in chat here. I would say the NA, non-NA thing is more so in that as well. Like a lot of different cultured stuff with people communicating. Reborn has the best players out of 4 to 5 Euro countries at least. Like the top 1 players are in their region. Respect to any ranked player that wanted to get better comp in Discord, whether they wanted to play in tourney or not. Okay, so is it safe to say that 4 of these are NA clans and the 5th is an EU based clan?
Reborn is mostly EU. They have NA players, but it's mostly EU. Like my clan, I have EU play. I think every clan besides no, every clan has someone that's not NA. Evolved has somebody from Africa.
Cool.
And I have somebody in EU, and Reborn has people mainly from like Germany and Italy and France and stuff like that. It's very cultured, if you want to say that.
A lot of different, a lot of different regions.
That's a lot of really beautiful experiences to just see hear a clan full of so many different players all over the world.
Yeah, and you know everybody's from different states also, so you know.
Ooh, Chad, I tell you, that's some exciting shit.
Yeah.
Next question. How well do you think the game balances nostalgia for Bleach fans with modern gameplay expectations?
Okay, so Bleach nostalgia with modern game. Okay, when you say gameplay, are you just talking about the game in general, or basically how the game plays?
Of how the game plays, like how the game is supposed to play for what they wanted to present the game as, while still holding true to what makes the Bleach IP Bleach. Like, does everything play like exactly like how it should, or do these characters all play how they would from the anime and manga presentation?
Interesting. Okay, interesting. Got it. And you know what's funny? You know that question. I'm actually starting something myself where I kind of explain that myself. But I'm doing it like character by character. So the first one is like Yamamoto, and I was basically going to talk about how it translates so well. Most characters, matter of fact, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think every character in this game translates 100% from the source material to the game. Some characters are probably missing smaller things where you're wondering like, oh, why don't they have this specific thing that they did in the show? But for the most part, they have everything they did. You know, they have everything, and their gameplay, the actual like archetype of playstyle is it typically matches them. Like Byakuya, right? He's a zoner. His Bankai's having a million pedals out, and so you would expect for him not to fight up close. He's fighting you from far, you know, and I think they translated that pretty well. Their mechanics, right? The things that are specific to each character, how Yamamoto, when his burn gauge goes too high, he starts to lose health. and you have to try to offset it somehow. It's accurate, you know. It's things like that. How Kenpachi, the lower his stocks are, the more damage he does. It's kind of ingenious how they went about it. I'm a big fan of Rebirth of Souls for that, because they didn't have to cook the way they did, and yeah, they did a pretty great job with it.
Okay.
They definitely cooked, especially with the DLC characters. You could tell like the DLC characters are way more drawn out. It's like I think like some of the base characters should like need some like a little tweaking and like and like moveset or whatever, but everything's pretty lore accurate. Like Unohana, she can heal, you know, her Bankai and stuff like that. Yuha having the Almighty, and when he get his reawakening, he gets his eyes, and you know he has if you pop your reverse meter, he basically auto dodges everything. Kind of like in the story, like he could pick like a future and see it or whatever. Ichibei with his ink, Uno with her Bankai, Yoriichi with her Flashmaster stuff. The game did pretty damn good what they did. I'm not gonna lie, pretty amazing. I'm pretty sure that's what drawn a lot of people into the game, because every character is vastly different from each other.
Okay. And that's what I would expect to some degree if they want to try and like have that be like canonically accurate, is to again appeal to like every character's play style and how you think they would play, and that's kind of how they play.
Yeah.
Next, a question as we go from the social aspect. Ouch. What's going on, Reborn Mr. Shiba? Welcome in. Thank you with the follow. Sit tight, we're about to get into the meat and potatoes of the conversation as we're delving into the competitive aspect. Ouch. Welcome in to the next follow. SSosukeaizen. Brother, it's been years. It's a blessing having you in the chat, man. Those of you guys that don't know, me and Aizen go way back to the Dragon Ball FighterZ years.
Oh shit, for real? That's crazy.
Yes, to throw hands back then, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Never really got super into it.
NLBC together.
Nice. Yeah, I had seen your profile. You were competitive player at one point, right? Or do you still play things competitively?
I still play competitive from time to time.
Nice.
Things are a lot more hectic IRL, so I can't focus video games in order to like be like that anymore. But yeah. I can still throw hands with Young Bucks, even if I can't take all of them. I can still take most of them.
Yeah, the muscle memory kicks in. I know exactly what you mean, man.
Yeah. So delving into the competitive aspect for Bleach, I want to look back at Ichibei's patch setting and the lay of the land then. I'm looking at Ultimate Burst. So Ultimate Burst Past was like this game's premier pinnacle assessment, because the game came out that year, and then it already got a great reception for this area. It was a European edition to boot. The EU fellas got the honor of really putting this hush puppy on the map for the whole scene, so it was a cultural W in its own way. In that sense, how did Ultimate Burst's presentation of diversity and ability shape the early Bleach PvP landscape?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I would say Ultimate Burst. So the question kind of confuses me a bit, because Ultimate Burst happened. Would you say that was early Bleach, Val?
No, that was the Ichibei patch.
Yeah,
that was
around August, right?
Yeah, no, August, September. Yeah, September around there.
Yeah,
Ichibei's patch before Ichibei's patch.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would say I'm not sure how much. I can't honestly. I'm gonna be so real with you, man. I don't think Ultimate Burst really affected that. I don't think it affected how people played in Bleach. I don't know if people were watching that and pulled maybe combos or how to play from that event. I just think that was just the biggest event thrown by the biggest anime gaming YouTuber, Glauco. So it just had a lot of eyes on it. But before that, I think there was a general meta on how you should play the game, what you should be going for, and generally who the strong characters were at the time, back during the Ichibe patch. Yeah.
You don't think the
Do you have
tournament
anything
brought
to
that
add
out or
on?
highlighted it?
No, because ranked had already been in the game for a while, and information was already being passed around through YouTube, through Reddit, through other media. So when it was a tournament featuring some of the best players from EU, I think they showcased some cool things, or maybe some things that should be broken. I mean, things that should be nerfed or buffed. But I don't think it had affected maybe how players played at the moment. Because again, it was a general, that information had already been realized and spread around. That's just my viewpoint on it.
I think. Oh no, go ahead. My fault.
Oh no, I was just concurring. Oh no, go ahead.
Okay. In my opinion, I think it showed like the difference in how like how tournament players played against ranked players, because from my experience, people who just only played ranked, they try to go into a tournament against people who played in tournaments, they're not going to do that good. Like, if I go into ranked, I went into ranked, I think like a month ago, and I was going to post a video about how a tournament player myself go against the ranked players on that side, like the more casual professional side or whatever. And it's a big difference. I think Ultimate Burst did show how there is levels to the game, but then it was kind of known fact, but I think it showed like some characters are like way more broken than like some people knew, because in ranked you were never going to see Mayuri. Shout out the Moose, because Moose and Atlas, they got their two characters nerfed, and I truly believe that because the Ultimate Burst. My Moose showed why Mayuri was kind of fucking broken, and Atlas showed why Yama was broken. Yama's still broken, but he isn't as broken as he was in the Ichibe patch. Mayuri's still good, but Ichibe patch, he was a lot better. And I don't think ranked players knew how strong Mayuri was. And then they see Moose fucking doing crazy ass things with fucking Mayuri. And I think that kind of like got shown out to the other side of the players. This like show why some characters that they don't think they're good, they're really good. Actually, there was this YouTuber. He doesn't do tournaments, but he got some of the quote unquote best ranked players to do a tier list. And this was during this patch. And this kind of correlates or whatever. So I personally sent that screenshot of the ranked warrior tier list, like we like to call it. And it wasn't that good. Like, obviously we're gonna have different ideas on what characters are strong, what characters aren't. Like a character like Chad, the ranked players don't think Chad is a good character. But us, Chad is low key broken. Same thing for ranked Giku and other characters. And they think Yuha is a S tier character. But in our eyes, he's kind of butt. The character needs a lot of buffs to be good. So like that kind of goes into the Ultimate Burst thing. Like, I think it's shown there's definitely levels to this game. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I'll just add one more thing to that back end of what he's saying. I think that those top players did showcase that those characters are crazy good. That's how they even got so high into the tournament, grand finals, and finals and all that stuff. I think that honestly, I think when it comes to patching this game, I think that Tamsoft do go off of tournaments and things like that, or maybe like competitive events. Maybe they go off of ranked data as well. But overall, tournaments would be the place that you would see the best characters being played. And coincidentally, the next patch, Mayuri and Yamamoto did get nerfed, along with a whole bunch of other characters that at the time were being shown off to be very good. The balancing isn't the best, so I'm not really sure what all of the metrics are, because there's, sometimes they'll buff a character that was already like
Down
top
guy.
10, top 5, you know what I mean? But generally, I think the big events, I can now, after hearing what Val had to say about it, I can kind of see the direction he's coming from with that. So, yeah.
Okay. Next question. How would you describe the current skill curve? Is the meta already forming, or is it still evolving?
All right, I can start with this current patch. The meta is definitely, well, I would say every character now can be used competitively, but there's obviously the broken characters. I feel like the meta is definitely, well, I mean, it's gonna be the same. The meta has evolved, but I think it's complete now. Like, there's nothing new to find or put what characters ranked up or whatever until we get another patch. I don't think we're getting another patch, so I think the meta now is what gonna be till the game dies or whatever. But there's definitely a meta, but every character is viable now. Now, some like Don guy, that broken ass character, he kind of shuts down a lot of other characters. So if you're going into a tournament, you have to think about what characters you want to use, because you're gonna run into a Don guy. All right, that character kind of counters so many other characters that you can't even bring certain characters into the game or the tournament, because you're gonna run into a Don guy and lose because you're kind of cooked, and that goes for other yeah. So I mean, the meta. I think every character is viable, but the meta right now is not going to change until we get another patch.
Yeah, I would say at the highest level, there's probably about 5 to 10 characters, probably closer to like 8 or 9 characters you can play that can take the tournament. You can pull a full win with them if you played only them throughout the tournament. This game is very counter focused. Like, certain characters completely counter others, in very specific and weird ways because of how the game mechanics may work. And Val already mentioned Don Guy as being one of those characters who's a bit polarizing, because he is one of those final boss characters where, like, you get the power fantasy of being able to play with this character, but like, he was at such a weird spot at one point where he wasn't good, but then he ended up being pretty okay. And then they just went balls to the wall and made this guy like busted. And
Fucking
for the most part, if you just pick him up and play a tournament, even if you don't have much time in the game, or you do have a bunch of time, but you never really played the character, you can play him and possibly even get top 4. Like, I'm not even joking, because
yeah.
he's that busted. He has, crazy range, and it's not just him. There's like 2 or 3 other characters that can kind of contend with him, but those characters are busted in their own way. So I would say the meta is definitely pretty defined. But one of the best things about this game is that the characters are so diverse and they all do pretty unique things that you can kind of sometimes just clutch a win. Even against the top tiers, you can still, clutch things out. They give each characters enough like combo potential and a lot of cool things that they can do to still win. So yeah, that's what I ended on.
Well spoken. I like that. See what chat is cooking over there in the kitchen of the chat. Tamsoft nerf Mayuri cause of Moose. Bro, they be watching the storm like the popo. Bruh, shout out to Val, Hammy, Gissel fanboys.
Who's saying that?
That's Billy, probably.
Street Shark Bedford Point. Street Shark, I appreciate the input. Don't worry about it. The anime popo don't have to be here.
That's Street Sharks?
Oh, that's Street Sharks.
Street Sharks is in here.
Yo, we all love
Street Sharks.
Yo, fuck, I love Street Sharks.
Lady Faithro, hey, welcome in. Thank you with the follow. You came in just in time. Welcome to the next episode here of the Bleach Podcast, fellas. Next. Oh, ouch, my ears. Thank you with the other follow. Next question. Unless chat's trolling. Alright, we're good. Are there specific characters that feel overtuned or underpowered right now?
Oh, you wanna start with that, Unc? Or
yeah,
you want me to...
Well, we kind of touched on it on Don Guy. We kind of had our little
yeah. But there are other characters.
Yeah, for sure. There's a good amount of characters. The good thing about this game is it's more of a bell curve than anything. So there's a lot of characters that are like good to decent, and like very few that are just absolute like trash.
Broken. Yeah.
But I would say that if I had to rank the balancing from a scale from 1 being terrible and 10 being like amazing, right? I would say it's roughly at like a 7.5 or an 8. It took them a while to get some characters to the point that they needed to be, but overall, I think, like I said earlier, you can generally pick up any character, right, and still cook with them. You can, some characters you have to have a significant, I would say, skill set above them, above your opponent, in order to win, consistently. But overall, I would say it's more of a bell curve.
My point on this, the top 5 in this game, and I'm gonna name top 5: Noitora, Bankai Ichigo, Highly Bell, Dangai, and some people have the 5th spot differently. Some people have Rengiku, some people have Shunsui, some people have those 2 characters mainly, but the 4 other characters I named, those characters are broken. They're busted. Now, those characters have their bad matchups, but they're not crazy. Like, you can still win those bad matchups because of how broken those characters are. And then you have a character like Yuha, for example. Most people have him at bottom 5 character. That character is garbage, all right? You try to run into a Don guy with Yuha, you're going to lose. Like, that's a 10-0 matchup, in my opinion. If you bring Noitora versus Don guy, it's still a little Don guy favored, but Noitora can still win because Noitora is just broken, and Don guy is broken too. And in my personal opinion, I don't think Don guy has a crazy big 10-0 matchup. Now, he might have like 1 or 2 kind of rough matchups like Highly Bell and Unohana. And then you have a character, perfect character for this is Renji. Renji is one of those characters, if you don't have anything to counter anything, you're cooked. So in that matchup, you have to bring a character that counters Renji to win. Now, you can still win, but it's way more difficult to win with some other characters.
Renji's that good?
Renji is crazy. If you don't bring any character that counters him, you're cooked. That's basically how it is.
No, why'd you even question that like that? Is like Renji's good? Like, what made you question it?
No, it's just like I'm not sure how the scaling works here in like how their toolkits work. It's just based off of like what I would figure his toolkit to be, and then the reach of how versatile Zabimaru is versus his use of Hado or Kido. I'm just curious on like how consistent his movement and his mobility with his kit is compared to other people in the kit that would probably be favored over him naturally just by design implication.
Okay. So Renji has 3 states. He has base, awakening, and weakened state, or is when he gets out of Big Bankai. Now, Kamamura and Renji, they're the same thing, the Big Bankai characters, but with Renji's kit, he has a buff. That's his SP2. He already does a lot of guard damage with his heavies and stuff, and he has like different combos in Big Bankai, like automatically break your guard in like 3 hits, 4 hits. And with Renji, you can lead them in the red at 9 Kapaku. You could pop Big Bankai, and if you have all resources, you can win in just like in a minute. Cause then you break the guard, you take the 5, and then you still have the SP2 buff active, and then you break their guard again, and then you win off that. Cause he does so much damage in Big Bankai.
Damn.
So and the difference between Kamamura is he has to 3-tap you. Kamamura can't do the 5-piece tag like Renji can. Kamamura has to do a lot more effort to win, and his Big Bankai sucks. Kamamura is also one of those characters. He's bottom 5. Well, he's not. He's not bottom 5 in my opinion. He's okay, but his base is so good. Yeah, he's viable. His base is so good till you go into Bankai and you lose because he can't break your guard like Renji can, and everything comes out so slow and it's predictable. So I mean, with Renji, you have to bring a counter to beat Renji. With Kamamura, you could win with kind of any character. So yeah, that kind of simplifies that.
Okay. All right, chat. Any input? Oh, actually, hang on. Let me read up. I think you guys might have some. Let me see here. Massa Bread should have been on this podcast. Get me in contact with him, and I can make that happen. Renji can only be beaten by 5 or 6 characters at higher level. Get what you talking about? TDK. Okay, you guys are doing chat things. I got you. Interesting.
Oh, what is Street Shark's talking about? I love Street.
He's in the sauce right now.
Yeah.
Next question. What kind of skills or play style does the game reward most? Via either like timing or prediction or reflexes or spacing or matchup composition or blunt zoning?
That's a great question. I would say this game generally benefits defensive play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It generally generally defensive play I would say is the best because Rebirth of Souls is a game that's it feeds off of a comeback system. You kind of want to lose sometimes to win in this game. So being defensive just in general and letting your opponents make mistakes is really it's really how you win in this game because you only get 1 combo break, right? You need 2 bars of reverse, and it's hard to get those 2 bars back once you spend them. You know, even later in the game when you do build more bars, it's hard to get it back. So a lot of the times you wanna make use of the parry system, the perfect flash step, which allows you to get a full combo, or just to really save your reverse. Because again, if you're caught without reverse, you can't break a combo, and that's game. You know, a lot of the best characters can like TOD you, or 2 interactions you're dead. So I would say this game definitely benefits defensive play, but there are aggressive options. There are rush down characters that work pretty well in this game. There are zoners that are also within the top 5. I will say out of all of the archetypes in the game, the top 5, there's probably about 3 rush down characters and like 2 zoners, or maybe like 4 rush down, 1 zoner. But the thing is that even the rush down characters in this game benefit from a defensive playstyle because inherently that's what this game rewards the most.
Yeah. There is layers to how people play. There's this thing called OS. That's what That's what majority of the EU and some NA people do. Something that it's a very debatable topic in the competitive scene. Some people hate it, some people don't think it's a big issue, blah blah blah. But OS, there's like 5 different variations of OS. I found out there's a backstep OS shit. I don't know, that shit is stupid, but essentially OS is where you could like cover like every option in the game. Let's say like you try to if someone tries to grab you, you're always getting that grab off. And if they try to light attack you, you always get that light off. And like some moves are come out faster with OS. Like some things catch back steps with OS. It's something a lot to get into, but the game right now it's definitely defensive because you want to save. You basically want to let the other person use their reverse. I think that's the biggest thing. If it's saving your reverse for the guard break or to finish the combo. Because if you just essentially waste your reverse, you're kind of cooked. That limits your options to like 1, 2 maybe interactions you need to win or something. Versus if you have like a full bar reverse, you have a lot of more options to win. And I think every character in the game I think can play played aggressively, even the zoners. But usually gameplay wise, you want to play defensive to win. That's how the game is now. Especially with the fighting spirit changes, where if you basically win when you lose. Cause then you're in sub before the other person is. So they took the 4, and then you're about to take the 5, and you're in a bigger advantage because of that. It's kind of stupid. A lot of people don't like that change. That change is probably the worst change they ever made to this game. Such a dog shit change. They gotta fix that. In my opinion, the Ichibe patch. Oh no, the Yuha patch. The first variation was peak Bleach. All right, you could play That's when people play really aggressive, because that's when you got full bars of reverse when you took the early 3. Because nobody was 3 tapping before, and then Yuha first patch, that it completely changed everything. People were 3 tapping. People like some characters were busted, like Shikai Ichigo. That character was busted during that patch because he basically had infinite white, and if you know how that character works, that's busted. That character was busted. And then they patched it. They completely changed how the game worked. And then now it's completely defensive gameplay now, and basically you want to let them kill you so you can have the advantage when you kill them. It's stupid. I don't know why they decided that was a great chain. That's just stupid. That was the dumbest shit they ever did to this game.
That's a good observation. I don't know if it was for the inclusion factor, or if it was just they felt like there was something that needed to be toned down, or they felt like it was something in order to help with like a better ratio of the matchup charts. I don't know.
Well, I don't know either, but it kind of first Yuha patch, that was peak
They gave
Bleach.
their reasoning for that. I might be able to pull it up and find it, but remember they would give reasons why they're making the changes that they're doing.
Yeah. I completely forgot what they said, but it was too stupid to understand why fixing that.
Hold on, I think I might be able to pull it up actually for us here.
Sure.
Yeah, let me just.
While you're pulling that up here, next question. It'll still be in the same aspect here before we delve into content creation and influencing. How much does player knowledge of the Bleach universe influence competitive success?
Like you kind of want to reword that, because like you from what I understood from that question is like, how do people play based off the Bleach universe, right?
like the competitive aspect. Like if there's more, like would it be fair to say that some characters have more depth to them than others based off of their lore that would also accumulate to how they play in the game?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, back to this stupid character, Don guy, in Bleach, Don guy, or Final Getsuga Ichigo, that fucking dog came in the room up. My fault. My stupid brother came in my room and interrupted me. I'm so sorry.
That
Back
is
to this
all
point.
good.
So Don guy in lore is Don guy in lore is a crazy character. He was essentially the only character that could stop the version of Aizen we meet during Karakura Town. And I feel like that kind of I don't know, cause in lore, if the game was gonna go based off lore, the top 5 should essentially be Aizen, Ichibe, Yama. I need to go to the let me pull up the game real quick. But that's 3 characters that should be in the top 3. Ichibe, Yuha, Ichibe, Aizen, the 1,000-year blower Ichigo, and let's see if the game will hurry up and load. But characters like that, they should be top 5 in lore. You know, Ichibe being one of the most busted characters in lore with beats and his hacks or whatever. And, you know, it kind of, I think the Don guy kind of represents that. But, you know, like Bankai Ichigo, that character from the Wakamundo arc, he wasn't even top 30 during that time in the anime, power-wise. But, you know, he's top 5 in the game for no fucking reason. Noritora is not even a top, 5? No, he's not even that strong of a Espada, but he's top 5 in the game. Same for Holly Bell. Like, if somebody was... Oh, yeah, go ahead, my fault.
Oh, no, you're good. No, I was saying, for Halle Bell, weirdly enough, I guess it kind of makes sense to give the cuteness her spotlight. She's a top 3 Espada there.
Yeah, but if you want to go by lore, like Ichibe, Yuha, Yamamoto, the 1,000-year blower version of Ichigo, and Dangai, that should be top 5 in the game. And then maybe like you could say like I don't know, Stark or Shunsui, Yama. Like I think that kind of goes back to the balancing. If the game was going to be balanced lore wise, it would be kind of poop. Cause then like Chad's a really good character in the game, but lore wise, kind of sucks. Yeah, he'd be at the bottom. You know, Yuha wouldn't be bottom 5. He'd be top 5. Ichibe wouldn't be bad or mid tier. He would be in the top 5. He would be busted. Halle Bell
is considered one of the top 3 best characters in the game right now, and she's nowhere near the strongest in the
show. Yeah, she's nowhere near the. Yeah, so.
And yet, Chet, she's on everybody's waifu listings.
Listen,
yeah.
For good reason.
Absolutely. And Chad, if you know, you know.
Yo, I love her. Love her in Goku. But that's besides the point. You know, that kind of sums up my thing. I don't think the game competitively goes based off lore. Because, like, if we're going to go based off lore, it's kind of reverse. It's kind of stupid. You go ahead, Unc.
Yeah, no, I generally agree with the points that you were making. Just to read over the question again, it's how much does player knowledge of the Bleach universe influence competitive success? Generally, like, I wouldn't say it does so much because again, like I was saying, you can hop on and think, oh, I'm gonna play with Yuha Baha, right? Because he's broken in the show, right? And then you'll hop on and like he ain't that good. Like his mechanics, like his special unique mechanic is cool, but he's actually factually like one of the worst characters in the game, and he's the strongest in the show. So I don't think it helps at all. You know.
Yeah.
Read what was in chat here. Aizen does have a follow-up here for us. So, I feel the reverse change was dope, but some characters should have gotten treated like Dankai during the patch, where he wouldn't receive the reverse benefits. It was kind of making it unga bunga for some characters. And Supreme Kai with the buff soy phone, am I right? And
No.
Street Shark, I see you're swimming in the comments. I'm gonna...
That's a buff.
Yo.
The toy farm was pretty bad.
Yo, soy fun angle. Okay, I'm not going back to the meta. The only character I see where he kind of shadowed was Soy Fan. She's kind of crazy good now. Especially with their SP1 loops without Ankins. It's kind of crazy, but you know that's for another debate or whatever.
Give me the blueprints for it, and I can see if I can build that next episode somewhere down the line. Next question, as we delve from the competitive aspect into the content creator and influencing aspect. Do you see long-term community growth potential via with more tournaments or collaborations or really nice or lit or hype streaming moments?
So, do I see a long-term community growth potential? I'm gonna be real with you. The answer is no. The reason why is because the game doesn't give us enough to constantly give us a reason to come back to it, right? I'm gonna tell you, most people can agree with me on this, that after a patch, everyone would be on the game for maybe like a good like month and a half, right? But it starts getting around maybe that like month and a half area where it's okay, we kind of need a new patch or a new character or something to keep this fresh, because the game only has rank and room battles. It doesn't have a tournament mode. It doesn't have any feature to keep you around playing. I even mentioned it earlier too, how some games have events, like daily events to encourage you to come on, or you know what I mean? So maybe they offer a cosmetic in the game if you sign on for 7 days. Something, anything like that. They're missing key features like that to keep people around. So I think people who love the game for the love of the game and enjoy the systems that this game brings with mechanics and things like that, they're going to be around. But when it comes to content creators, and I'm sure other content creators in this space can agree with me, there isn't really much left. I mean, unless we're hosting tournaments, which, you know, are fun but are very tiring for the host, it's, you know, what else is really left? You know what I mean? Like, so that's just how I generally feel about it. Collaborations may be cool, but that can only work so many amount of times. And you know, the well is pretty dry there. That's just my general thoughts.
We have met a new person. His name is DT. I don't think he's new to the community, but recently Storm server we found him. He hosts he used to only be on PC. He used to do a lot of PC stuff, but then he recently came to console because he realized how much lively console PS5 is. So then he started doing a whole bunch of tournaments. Oh fuck, my fault. He started doing weekly tournaments, and he has he has a league one. He does 2v2s. He does 1v1s, etc., etc. But you know, I don't think that's gonna last long term at all. I'm not gonna lie. I think in like the next month, if we don't hear nothing, I think like majority of people are gonna drop the game. I think a lot of people now only get on the game to play in tournaments. They don't play the game casually no more. Because there's nothing to do. Like, Like the clan stuff with Clan War, that kind of brought a lot of new things, but how many times we're gonna do like Ohio versus Reborn or Ohio versus the Vaal?
Exactly.
Yeah,
and then they
it's
kind of killed Ranked too. Ranked used to be something that, I'm not gonna lie, Rodimus, we used to all hop on Ranked, and
Yeah.
like it was cool to hop on Ranked and then go against somebody that you knew. Oh, I just ran into Bread, or I just ran into Val, like, and we were duke it out, and it was a whole leaderboard that we all a part of. And Ranked actually felt interesting and fun until they changed it. They changed it and made it so that you don't lose points on loss. So now leaderboards are kind of useless now, because that means the people at the top are people who
Just play
just
the game
grind
all
this
day.
game all day. Yeah, you could lose 500 times and win 10, and you're still up on points. Like, so they kind of killed the one aspect that had people hop on and be like, okay, let me grind this game. I will hop on and play the game for 4 hours straight, bro, just having a great time with it. That's gone. Unless I'm hopping on and playing with somebody from the Discord, which I don't even do anymore personally. There was nothing else to really do once they got rid of rank. So sorry for
and then no, you good. But then when Rain got cooked, that's when the clan stuff happened. That brought a lot of longevity to the community. And then how long are we gonna keep doing the same clan wars and fucking and stuff like that? Like we can't. We need a new patch or a new character or something. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, because the game right now, like I don't play the game like that anymore. I maybe play for like a little bit. I probably do like 2 matches and get off, unless somebody in the Discord wants to fire or whatever. But they got to do something. They got to drop a patch or add a character or something for the community to strive and last a lot longer.
And those are reasonable gripes with retention versus continued upkeep and servicing to the game for just topping off some things. Next question. What type of content tends to resonate most? Is it discussions or lore breakdowns or guides, memes, maybe the events?
I think for the game, it's definitely I think, I'm not gonna lie, it's I see a lot of like ranked gameplay get a lot of views, and character guides, and I posted one video. It was me against a Go to EU player. His name was Reigndropz. I did a set, and I never posted before, but I got like 500 views from that. For me that's great. I appreciate that, but I feel like those type of videos get a lot more views than tournaments. Now, if a big YouTuber was to do a tournament like Gloku did, then of course that's going to get a lot of views, because he's a big content creator. But tournament like Storm used to do monthly tournaments or whatever. Those got a lot of views also. Yeah. The streams used to be popping. Used to be, I don't think we hit 200, but it's been like, I think the most I seen was probably like 100, 150. I think maybe I'm over exaggerating, but
it hit like 150, 152 or something like that for the tournaments. If we're talking like strictly live streams, the most numbers I've seen at once for like a Bleach live stream are tournaments. So like Gloku had, I think concurrently he had like 400 or 500 people between Twitch and YouTube. If you add the numbers, it was about that total. And then for me, for YouTube, I had about 150 people at my highest tournament showing, which was probably Rietu Rumble 3. And the ones before had like, the first one had about 60, and then the second one had about like 90. So over time, people definitely had tuned in more into it. Generally, my opinions on what type of content resonates the most in this community, I would say patch notes. Like the most views I've ever gotten on a video are like patch note videos. People love those kind of videos, and I love making them too. I love bunkering down, checking out what's new with a patch, and making a video on it and stuff. But again, that kind of comes back to like the content. There's not enough content in this game consistently to constantly have like patch note videos. You get what I'm saying? But those were the most performing ones, the best performing ones. I mean, and like Val had mentioned, tournaments are also like huge. Generally, also just hopping on and doing gameplay streams. Like one of the biggest gameplay streamers was Shampoo. His name used to be Nico and people were probably familiar with that name more. But he would be streaming for hours. He's kind of newer. I think he came kind of towards like the later half of last year. But he just posts pure gameplay, no face cam, no anything, and people seem to like resonate with that. So I think just because Bleach is a beautiful game, you know, I don't see how some people say they don't like the graphics of it. I've heard that recently. There's been a lot of like videos going around saying, "Oh, Bleach a year later," or "Bleach 10 months later." And the common thing that I'm hearing from people is how it looks, and the game is beautiful. I don't see how you can compare this to other anime arena fighters or just anime games and not say this game does not look good. This game is ridiculously like even beautiful. I don't understand.
Even the character designs are good. Like everything's good.
Yeah. The character designs too are crazy. But generally, I would say the content that tends to resonate the most would be tournaments and like patch note videos, informational stuff. Guides also seem to be somewhat popular. It depends on the character. But anything that has just information for people to learn and pick up from, I would say.
Yeah, I feel like patch notes are probably the biggest without tournaments, because you know a lot of the casual base doesn't know how to lab stuff. So you know they go to like tournament players or like Storm or somebody else to really dig deep into the patch and what's new, what got nerfed, etc.
Yeah, things like that. Yeah. I wish there was a YouTuber or a content creator out there that kind of focused on memes, because I do think that is a space that hasn't been taken up in this community. Most other communities for games usually have like a couple creators that do like funny type videos, meme type videos. My editing is nowhere near good enough to like do those kind of videos, but I do wish there was somebody out there that was like doing like meme related videos or like bloopers, highlights, things like that. But there's definitely space for creators to make content. But again, it kind of comes back to how the game isn't updated enough to entice those kind of people to focus on this, you know. So at least that's my opinion on why that doesn't exist.
I feel like doesn't Deuceland kind of do something like that, but
not really. I mean, like memes, yeah, the memes not really. He does gameplay. Okay. He might do light editing, but it's not really memes.
I mean, you did start a challenge on the game. It was the ABC series. You were supposed to finish it, but you never did.
Yeah, but that's not even meme. That's just more gameplay, you know.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying now. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That's, you know.
Yeah, that would be funny. You know, there's a lot of funny shit that happens, but I feel like that depends on the community. You know, if somebody did like bloopers in Storm community, oh, it would be fucking hilarious. I'm not gonna lie, that would be funny as fuck.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Seems to have good retention.
Yeah.
Next question. And chat, if you guys out there have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to go on ahead and post them, and I can also ask them away in conjunction with my set questions. How does the combat death compare to games in the arena art like Naruto Storm or Demon Slayer, or even traditional like Guilty Gear or Dragon Ball Fighters or Street Fighter or Tekken?
I kind of want to go first. So I was never really big into fighting games. I think Bleach was my first fighting game I got into like really competitively. But compared to like Cause I remember when Demon Slayer 2 came out, Storm and Azurzex were hyping it up. You know, I thought, okay, maybe I'm gonna like the game. You know, I was playing Bleach at the time. I really like how Bleach plays. Very neutral base, 1v1s, mostly like no assists, no nothing. It's pure gameplay. I go into Demon Slayer. You know, I really don't like the combat at all. I don't like how the camera works. I don't really like how the combat feels. The combos were alright, but you know, like how the combat works in Demon Slayer compared to Bleach is like night and day. I think Bleach is the best fighting game anime wise, in my opinion. Now, I recently got My Hero. Now, I do like My Hero a lot. Storm would agree. I really love that. I like that game a lot. Storm put me onto it. I thought I was gonna play like Demon Slayer, but it doesn't. It's a lot better. But going back to Bleach, I think Bleach does a lot of things really well. You know, it's a traditional fighting game. You know, you don't have assist or whatever, like characters helping you out, continue combos or whatever. It's you playing the game and your character, and like, I feel like it's more skillful, if you want to say like that, compared to other games. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm too stupid. Maybe my opinion doesn't really matter, since you know I'm not really into this is my first competitive fighting game, so maybe I'm
picking up what you're laying down. I think that is a good take in its own way. Where the game exemplifies one-on-one combat as opposed to team, or it tries to be different and not compelled to the era of tag fighters that we've been saturated by so far. And so that's what I can kind of like, that it took that same premise to just deliver a one-on-one game like a traditional fighter was doing.
like Tekken.
Yeah, like Tekken. And was able to shine that in its own light in the anime department.
Yeah, I feel. All right, go ahead. My fault.
No, I was gonna say. I generally agree with the points that you're trying to make. Honestly, one thing that I think many people mistaken with Bleach Rebirth of Souls is there is a lot of depth in this game, and it doesn't come through from the fact that you have to block high-low mix-ups and you have to worry about. That's really the only thing it doesn't have. Actually, I'm gonna be real with you. The game has everything and a traditional fighter would have, other than the fact that it's 3D. It's a 3D arena, so side steps are important, like Tekken, right? But it doesn't have high lows, but it has everything else. You know, there's frame traps, there's spacing, there's there's mind games, there's plus frames, there's a lot of things you have to pay attention to in this game, and I would say that it's not as depth as some of the crazier fighting games out there, but when you compare it to its anime fighting game counterparts, it's honestly probably at the highest when it comes to skill ceiling, hard it is or the skill floor. I'll say the skill floor is probably the highest because the movement in this game is very stiff when you first play it. And the side steps, right? In order for you to sidestep, it doesn't follow your character's positioning. So, for example, if you want to backstep after flash stepping behind someone, you still have to hold down on the analog stick for you to move. But even though your character is standing behind, your opponent, you would think you would have to press forward for them to backstep, right? But it's weird. I don't know what the word is for that, but it doesn't track where your movement is.
That sounds like input buffering.
It might be for that. Well, I know input buffering is pressing the button so that it can come out the fastest frame possible. This is more so like your movement option doesn't track where your character is. It's always stays the same. So if you wanted to sidestep left, but you were behind your opponent, you would still have to hold left. It kind of like throws your brain off. It just takes a while to get used to. That's just a small example. I'm not going to harp on it too long because it can be a bit confusing. But it's things like that make this game a bit hard to pick up, especially the fact that you have to just learn the frame data on everything. I mean, that's generally what you have to do in any game that, where frames matter in that sense. But I think fighting game players aren't really used to that. I mean, anime fighting game players aren't used to that. They're not. You have to learn that stuff with this game, and also the whole Kompaku system makes it very unique too, because it's almost like you're playing Smash Bros. Where in that game you don't have to count how many stocks that you have to take next. I mean, you can clearly see it. But in Bleach, you have to be strategic on how you take the stocks. If you happen to take 2 stocks early from someone, that's actually a good thing. Depending on how many stocks they have, where some characters take 6, some take 7, some takes 5, and it's all about knowing at what state should I take this stock from them. Is it a beneficial thing for me to do here? Can my character take 6? Because if they don't take 6, and I put them in a situation where they have 6 stocks, right? I have to reduce that health bar twice. I can't bring their health all the way down to 0 because my character can't take 6. It can only take 5. So it's like the math you have to do along with it is just, there's a lot to the game. There really is. And I could honestly talk all day about it too.
Yeah, this game is really deep. Going back like day one Bleach. People okay, I actually disregard that. I think when people come into the game, they think it's like Sparking Zero, where you have 3-4 health bars that you have to deplete, but it's nothing like that. Cause I see a lot of new people, they 3-tap without breaking, cause they don't know how the shit works. Like it's something you have to learn and master. Because if you try to do that in a competitive scene, you're cooked. Like it depends, but you're mostly gonna be cooked because you're in a disadvantage when you do that. But sometimes it does work. But definitely with the Kompaku system and the movement. When I try to get my friend who was he played a lot of Sparking Zero. He liked the combat, but he didn't like the movement. He said it was too stiff. Because in Sparking Zero, you're flying over the place. It's a lot more loose. And, you can sidestep easily in that game. Every character could sidestep, actually thinking about it, every character is so different. Because some characters have crazy sidesteps, and some characters have garbage side steps, and that goes for like forward movement, back steps, and a lot of stuff. Like Yamamoto, he has one of the best side steps in the game. I think him and I think it's mainly Yama. He's one of those characters that can sidestep a grab easily. And that's kind of crazy. And then he could grab off that and counter. Like there's a lot of information to learn and character dependent information to learn. Because every character is so different. Every character has different like plus frames and frame data and stuff like that. Fuck.
Makes sense to me. Because some people might have, like what you said, that might be benefiting off of like simple defensive maneuvers. Which it's a part of the balancing aspect in their kit. So if they can't be full frontal, then you have to lab them a lot in order to figure out, okay, defensively speaking or offensively speaking, not in the direct approach, what more can they do here, or do they get more reward for responding to situations? Which means, okay, they got to play this way. That way, they get more bang for their buck here, which compensates for not having a direct approach like this other character has.
Right.
Yeah, basically.
Next question, as we go into the community meta and future speculation. What are your hopes for new character additions or balance changes?
You go ahead, Unc.
What's my hope for balance changes? And like new things to come to the game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically.
Okay. One thing that's been asked for a while in this community is just the addition of features that other games get to have the privilege of having that we just don't get to have. So a good example of that is spectate mode, the ability to have rooms, without having to like have only one person in at a time. You know, just things like that you would expect a multiplayer game to have, but this just is missing. When it comes to like balance, I would like to see. I honestly would like to see some of the top characters be slightly tuned down on the things that make them broken. So, for example, like Don Guy's light attack, his dash light attack is stupid. It's damn near unreactable. He has a unblockable move that starts a combo, and he could TOD you from it. It's like stupid things like that some of the top tier characters have that like the mid to lower characters can't compete with at all. I would like to see that taken away, and I would like to see everybody else buffed up, because I would rather a game where everyone is buffed than you taking away from characters that have things, because that will always leave a sour taste in a lot of players' mouths if they lose out on things rather than gaining. I know that if my Yoriichi lost the ability to combo off of her super, I would be mad about that, because I'm like, why would you give it to her if you just was gonna take it away? If you felt like she needs to be nerfed, then touch another part of her kit that doesn't necessarily take away a gameplay function. You know, so that's the only thing I would say when it comes to balance. Buff, and then nerf the things that are just egregious.
But we used to have a lot of reverse tech. I quite frankly liked a lot, in my opinion. Now with yellow, that's a debatable thing. A lot of people don't like it, but in my opinion, I like the idea. Maybe the damage should have been nerfed a little bit, but I like that idea. It added more brain confusing, more gameplay, and more smart, like moving smart or whatever. Like you catch people off guard with it. But that was removed. A lot of people like that change. My personal opinion is that I don't think removing SP1 orange, like some characters, okay, Kenpachi used to be able to orange off SP1. That was great. That was a great thing he used to be able to do. That was one of his greatest things he used to be able to do for damage. Because before he got buff, that was like his biggest combo was fucking use your damn typical combo, then you orange SP1, then you do it all over again, and then that's a whole bunch of damage. And then was it UR patch 2 they took it away, right?
Yeah. Yes, the UI patch they took it away.
Oh my god, yes. Oh, that's why I hate this patch so much. They took away a lot of creativity with characters. For I don't know why. Cause the combos in this game are kinda I wouldn't say lackluster. Like some characters have crazy combos, but you always was optimal combo all the time. And you know, you're seeing that combo over and over again. But you know, I think orange after SP moves was a great addition to the game. You know, it brought some characters, it brought out combos in within them, and it did a lot for the game, like gameplay wise. I don't understand why they took that out. In my opinion, that was the stupidest thing they ever did. One great thing about the second UR patch was they took away blue SP2. That needed to be gone. That was broken. Some characters you could get hit, you could pop blue, and you could guarantee get out a shit ton of damage, and you can't do nothing about it. That's broken. That's stupid. That's something that needed to be completely taken away. But I don't think orange after SP moves needed to be taken away. Cause then you're dumping a lot of resources into doing a lot of damage, and then like
this sounds like
you don't have no reverse.
This feels like Guilty Gear layering with their with the color roaming cancel system.
Yeah, I think
it's very similar. Yeah, you had three different ways to use the reverse gauge. One was a combo, one for combo extending, and then the neutral one was for you to basically increase the system-wide resource as fast as possible, something called Fighting Spirit. It was pretty similar though. It's funny that you made that connection.
Yeah. But going back to that, I think we need to bring back Orange after SP moves, and we need a tune. We need a. I think everybody should be great. I think we need a nerf the top tiers, buff the mid tiers, all around the same range. So like everything is viable. Like the game's still gonna have like counter picking or whatever, but it's not like so like now like some characters don't even have a bad matchup. But if we nerfed all the top tiers into like where majority of the characters are, I feel like it'd be a lot more healthier for the game. And bring back SP after Orange after SP moves, so that could bring more enjoyment into doing combos and experimenting and stuff. And you know what? They also need a flash step on block. That is the most. That's also the most stupidest thing they brought to this game. That lowered the skill. That lowered the skill in this game by a lot. Because back then, if you did a heavy on block, you were getting punished off that because you were stupid to do that. But now you can just do a heavy on block and flash step, and some characters are plus off that, and you get away with a whole bunch of shit now. Yeah, it's so stupid. Like I don't know why they decided to change stuff like that. It just ruined the game. I could rant about how bad the second version of UI patch was because it's so bad. They need to revert a lot of things and nerf characters. Basically, how to sum it up.
Okay, it's a pretty good sum up. And chat, if you missed anything, if they missed anything, let me know in the comment section. Next question. What social tools, like either clans or rank ladders, or even simple stuff like maybe replays and rewatching matches, what would help the scene evolve?
I think
I can give a good answer to this. I think what social tools could help. I've mentioned it a couple times, but in-game events would be huge for this game. Like you first log on, you have to choose between the Waco Mundo faction and the World of the Living faction, right? Something like that, right? Yeah. And whichever side wins, you have to whichever side gets more wins in ranked gets this X reward, right? That's super low committal, doesn't take much time to probably code into the game. And that's a perfect way to get people to get back on and maybe have some type of connection to the game other than the limited stuff that we have now. I think that would be a pretty cool addition to it. I also think fixing ranked so that you don't, you lose points on loss back to how it used to be would actually be pretty good. At one point, you could infinitely play the same person, and they were making great changes in ranked by making it so that it was a best of 3 instead. So they were on the right direction, but then they made that one change to, losing. So if they fix that, they add in-game events, and maybe adding a new feature like tournament mode might be a little bit out of their reach. But I don't know, maybe, something like that would also be pretty cool.
I feel like Storm made some goated points. I was gonna go somewhere in that direction, but you could also add like a survival mode. Like with the like in the story mode, you had like some big bosses or whatever. I feel like you could do something off that. Like if you like stay alive or some shit like that, you get like a costume. I feel like they should add something like I hate I know people hate it, but I think this game would have thrived if it had a battle pass.
Mm-hmm.
So you could gain outfits and title cards and a lot more things. So you actually had a reason to grind. You know, they could have changed the battle pass after every patch.
Yeah,
And
that
even
would have.
customizable
Yeah,
editions.
I agree.
yeah,
Or adding a
and
way for them to make money from microtransactions. I know, people hate that word, but really, if it keeps your game that you love going longer, that listen, I'm sure people would have loved paying for skins or something.
Yeah.
you know, I feel like they could also add, especially in the story mode. Now, I don't think the story mode's bad. I think it's kind of all right to get people into it so they can watch it. But I feel like they could have added the characters that weren't in the base roster into the story mode, like Don Guy, where, like, Baragon, for example, if you beat Baragon in the story, you would unlock him as a character, and you could use them in fights or whatever, like in the game, like in tournaments or whatever. They could have did that with, like, so many characters. They could have did that with, like, D-Roy, Baragon, Numachika, Monster Eisen also, but basically they could have did something like that easily, and that would give incentive to do the story mode. Besides, just getting Don Guy, but that's just my opinion.
So it's funny you mentioned that. Those are like really a couple of details in that analysis is actually something that me and Reigndropz talked about in Reigndropz' segment, where because I was in contrast about like Louise and Barn being in a game like this for like him being slow but being really powerful in terms of like probably presenting AoE elements or tick damage that I don't think would be like totally like good for the game, but I do think that in that same regard that having characters to unlock in game promote the story replayability more and as the incentive to play more so than pay to get these same characters. That way you can just play the game more, invest more to meet the criteria to unlock them, and then you can use them naturally. Similar to like what the old Dragon Ball games were doing in Budokai Tenkaichi, or what DNF Duel did when you could unlock whatever that floaty dude was. That was like a really powerful low tier. Can't think of that guy's name.
No, I
But
know. I agree. I know what you mean.
incentives like that.
Give you progression, like a progression system to work at, and make you want to
Play the
actually
game.
get on do it. Yeah.
Another thing I think that they could add in here is some they could honestly take another note out of Xenoverse, out of a couple other arena fighters, is to have like a world exploration. So that way, in addition to what they've already provided based off of the story and what you can explore and know for lore and all the different realms, I think it would be nice for like a HUD system, or not a HUD system, or an exploration feature where you could just explore the world. Like you could explore Karakura Town, you could explore Weka Mundo, you could explore the Soul
Like
Society.
the yeah. That would be that's a great addition.
I feel like that would be nice DLC if it wasn't thought of in the main thing. That way, it would also delve into more interaction for all of these the different worlds that we're aware of.
Mm-hmm.
It would add layers.
Yeah, I
to
can
your
see
play.
that.
Yeah, that would be great.
Give you a reason to hop on, yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Last question. What does Rebirth of Souls need to do differently from past anime game releases to maintain momentum?
What it needs to do differently to maintain momentum? Let me think. Maybe communication. I would say the big thing.
I was about to say.
It's like when the game first released, they thanked us for buying it and playing it and stuff. But then what ended up happening is they released a feedback form probably about a month or 2 months in, And that feedback form was perfect because it said that it was going directly to the balance team and to the devs and stuff. And, so a lot of stuff actually came from that. We got ranked, a big balance patch happened from that. We got our first character in June. And then after that, it was radio silent. We only got information from this dev company whenever there was a new character to be dropped. So it's as if it's like, oh, like you give us money and we respond to you guys. It kind of felt like that somewhat, and I think in the climate of 2026, it's the big 2026, man. How are we not hopping on Twitter and making a quick Twitter post saying we're officially done with the production of this game, or we're coming out with new stuff soon? Be on the lookout. Oh, do hint something. It's not hard. It takes literally less than a minute to come up with a teaser post to get the community excited. Clearly, you guys watch our content or our events online and stuff because balance patches be coinciding to like tournament placements and things like that. How are we not getting something from you guys, And if there are higher ups stopping that, it only hurts everyone by being so silent about everything. So the biggest thing I would say is communication. Honestly, they do a decent to good job with everything else. Communication and more features, and we're golden,
Yeah, I feel like I seen a Reddit post. It was a lot of people were talking to the Bandai or whatever about Bleach. And I seen something about how they don't have nothing planned for the game at all until further notice from a higher up or something like that. So I mean, I don't understand why they know they see the content. They see us doing a lot. They see the communities we have built for this game. And that's the sole reason this game is alive is because of mainly of the communities that have been built. And having no communication just fucking kills it. Cause you're basically saying like fuck us. We're doing all this shit for y'all, but we don't give a fuck. We just want y'all money. That's basically what they're saying. But if they really truly wanted our money, they should be communicating, dropping stuff for us to buy. Yesterday I was expecting a season 2 announcement, but I guess not, because, I don't know why. But, they know people want this game to live, but they continually do not want. I think they're done with the game. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think we're getting a season 2. I was very, very hopeful for a season 2 because a game that was not good at all, the Jujutsu Kaisen game, Curse Clash, that game got a season 2. But how does this game not get a season 2? It doesn't make no sense at all.
It doesn't.
It's so stupid. I don't understand why. But they really need to drop. I feel like we could rant about this all day. But, I don't want to make it that long of a podcast. So that's mainly the big thing is communication and bringing more stuff into the game.
That would help. That would help with a lot of core interest, and it would help with a lot of follow through on the base level feedback that they went through all that trouble in wanting to amass. So it is there in order to have all the feedback in order to establish the next accurate direction you wish to take the game in. I believe that does cover the lot of everything for the panel here this afternoon. For everything that we could talk about, from casual to the hardcore, to the socialites, to the competitive investors, to the lore hunters, the techies out there, the nerds that always find something, the content creators, the influencers, and everybody in between. All you guys out there in the audience. And I'll leave you with my wrap up here, where when you sign on board to the game via to play with friends, or play in a clan battle, or casual, or rank, what is your end goal for signing on for the day in the Bleach community? What do you seek to accomplish? Do you accomplish it? And do you share it? People out there would like to know. On that note, I want to sit here and thank Val Okay and Stormation for their time here today in which to enlighten us on the next successive stepping stones going further into Bleach's ecosystem and understanding a lot about the game and its people. So I thank you.
Thank
no
you
problem
for having us.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure to give our insight because I think both of us have been here from the beginning, so we've seen it all, and once again, thank you guys. Thank you for having me there, and I'm sure Val feels the same.
I appreciate you very much because I've been wanting to do a podcast idea, and I brought this idea up with Storm, but we just never had time to do one. But thankfully you're here, so we could finally do it, and we did it. I appreciate that.
Hey, I'm thankful that I was able to be the glue that was able to put together the building blocks on that idea and get this out here to the community.
Well, great questions too. I mean, I was looking over the questions once again, and these are you touched on a couple things. You touched on the social side, the competitive,
and the content.
Yeah, the content, the future of it, like the lore of it all. So, yeah, just big shout out to you, bro. Again, thank you for having me. And I like what you're doing.
The key thing here was to have everything flow as accurately as it would in like a normal conversation, and then just go over key bulletin points to kind of highlight those things as we're building the conversation.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Would you mind if I post? I know you do your own thing with this. Would you mind if I post this myself, or should we talk about that? I don't know this.
Oh, you are most welcome to. You're able to post it.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. All right, cool.
If there's anybody else out there in the community or anyone else that wants to try and have their own segment, let me know, and I can by all means give them the same Q&A. That way they can go over their experiences and journeys through the scene.
Well, I suggest anybody who is still listening that you guys take them up on that offer. It was nice to kind of get these opinions out. We talk about it behind the scenes a lot, but I will be honest, we don't really, I haven't really been as open about it, bringing it to my platform about how I currently feel about the game. So it was nice to have this talk. Yeah. And I would implore other people to do the same.
Yeah. Especially people who were very competitive at the beginning of the game. I would have got Solo on here, but I appreciate you doing something else different. He definitely would be interested in something like this. So that would be
a couple people in the community that would be. So
yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, let them know to hit me up because once I finish up my investment with Demon Slayer, I'm gonna be gradually trying to invest in Bleach Rebirth of Souls. That way I can invest and figure out like where I am at in the community and just slowly learn the game and then see if I can get ready for the PvP aspect there.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, sounds amazing.
Let me see here. Bless Church's chicken. Amen, dude. I haven't had that in so long, but yes, definitely. Bless Church's chicken, dude.
Alright. Well, unfortunately, I gotta head out, guys, but I'll catch you guys later.
Oh, I got you, Billy. Definitely. Alright, so possible pending future Billy podcast. Oh, and if you gotta get ready to go, by all means, it's a pleasure having you on here today. We'll keep in touch.
Alright, yeah, let's keep in touch, bro.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the episode on Storm YouTube channel. That's gonna be.
Yeah,
hopefully it does numbers.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Who would you like us to raid while you're here?
I would like if you're gonna post this on Twitter also, right? Or whatever.
Yes, yeah. There's designated there's two designated groups for Bleach on Twitter, so it'll magnify the optimized viewing for the video once it's finished.
Okay, that's great. I would like another clan to appear in the Discord. We had a recent one, the crownless, but they're kind of lacking. So I would greatly appreciate a new clan coming into the scene to give a little more life to the game. So we don't have the same clans battling over and over again. And I would promote y'all to join more tournaments and get into the scene and learn how the game truly is and how deep it is. Some casual people don't get how deep the game truly is, and I feel like if they join a community like Storms or listen to this podcast, they would truly know how deep the game truly is and give it a chance. Some people drop the game day one, and to those people who drop the game day one, it's a way better game now than it was at day one. Truly, it's way better.
Yeah, don't let first impressions deter you from staying with the game a little bit longer to just see what type of navigation that the devs and the patchworks give for its foundation and how the people work with or even expand that foundation.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fighting games and even a few anime games that I've been arena fighter games and regular traditional fighting games both where people have given up on the game and the premise too early, and then by the time you get back into the game, it's a completely different identity than what you left.
Yes, that's great sum up of that. But that's all I gotta say.
Okay. And then for those of you guys that haven't, go ahead, feel free to definitely go ahead and follow Stormation over here. That's the main man here. I'm literally sitting in his server. Feel free to follow him here. He has a whole lot of insights on his channel too. I look forward to seeing how the collaborative effort here for this podcast and its reach will eventually work for North America and for EU both. Let me read up on chat while I'm here. Yeah, W stream indeed. Bro, bring on Mo players, top or not, bring everybody on. 2026 be a fire. Crownless probably the last of what online on PS5 is a good idea. Vaal,
do not read that one. Please don't. Just don't not read that one. I'm just laughing about
You are very energetic, my friend.
Yo, that's why I love Street Sharks, yo. Podcast more casual players, bro. Too much hidden talent. Yo, I do got there is some players that are really, really good out there that just don't know how to get into the community. So hopefully this podcast does that.
Alright, Raid is going to get ready to go through for you guys out there. As we get ready to go to Mr. Giggles X20, you guys got my emotes? Spam? Let them know where you come from. Made a lot of good progress here going in the Bleach community. And we got another one here pending on the horizon with a nice low-tier captain soon on the land. You guys take care and have a blessed one out there in the Soul Society. And
peace out.
And like I always say, till all are one.